Hello everyone, Bahar Alexander here, and I am elated to welcome you back to another video blog. Before we continue, I'd like to take a moment to thank every single one of you for tuning into these video blogs, supporting my YouTube channel, and I hope this information is being used in your life to improve your life experience. It is my mission as a self-image coach, as a life coach and a high performance coach, to empower everyone with instrumental information, simplified and accessible for anyone who aims to improve their lives, live a life of abundance, reach the height of success and high performance, but do it with longevity and a sense of joy. Because let's face it, no amount of external abundance can satisfy a soul that's missing joy. Having said that, let us continue with today's video blog. As the last video blog of the month, I would like to share with you one last nugget of information on managing stress. As you have seen, I've been sharing information on this very serious and not enough paid attention to health crisis that we're dealing with due to the stress pandemic. I shared with you in the first video blog what the reasons are for the stress that we feel, what the effect of it is on our bodies, and why it is that we cannot cope with it effectively. In the second video, I shared with you tips and tricks in how to deal with chronic stress in the moment and in your everyday life. I will not refer to any of that information here for the sake of our short time, but please refer to the videos on my YouTube channel and the written blog on my website for more in-depth insights. Today, I would like to talk about one last bit of information that's related to increasing your level of emotional resilience. And in order to create a visual for you, I like to take you through a story. You wake up in the morning, but you don't wake up in your normal, lovely, quiet way. You wake up because somebody made a really loud sound. You call it a name, right? You give it a label immediately. Oh, that's awful. Then you go to the kitchen and your coffee is made for you. Ooh. You say, that's lovely. You give it a label, positive label. You go to the bathroom to take your shower and the water is ice cold. You give that a label as well. It's a negative label again. And as you go through your entire day, all you do as a human being is give labels to everything. Positive, negative, positive, negative. But this process causes intense amount of fluctuation in emotions inside the body. Intense fluctuations, ups and downs. This is very much like sitting in an environment to work where the fire alarms are going off every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. How would you feel? How would that make you feel if you had to constantly deal with this buzzing sound that is throwing you off your balance and completely disturbing your entire equilibrium? Labeling things is something that we learn at a very young age. That is a spoon, that is mom, that is dad. So it is a very instrumental ability that we have. The issue with it is that as we grow up, that labeling technique is less and less required, and it is more required to use our rational thinking of reason, analyze, question, assess, but somehow we stop doing that. Now, I could go very deep on why it is that we choose to use our personal filters, which is exactly what we're talking about in labeling things, instead of rational thinking in the moments of stress. When the stress is already in your body, there is no cognitive capacity to go into that. Emotions are right on the edge, right on the top of that level. So you go to those immediately. Because how we label things is that we see something, our perception. It comes through our perception into our body through sense of touch or the way we see things or hear things. Then we have a thought about it, and that thought creates an emotion. Now, if this thought creates a negative emotion, which is the negative label we give to something, stress is going to be created. We get agitated inside. Now, we don't call it stress, but we feel agitated. We don't feel comfortable. We don't feel really good. Now, this by itself is not a very big problem. The issue is that we do this with everything in life. If anybody talks back at us, if somebody's not listening to us, we're just constantly overusing this highly effective tool that we were given as human beings for our survival in less than constructive ways. So instead of giving labels of positive and negative to things, there is a third option that you can utilize, which will immediately help you deal with the chronic low-grade stresses of things that happen around you and are sensed through your internal system. What is that, you ask? It is called neutralizing. Neutralizing the thoughts, which means not giving them any meanings, not labeling them. So let's say something happens around you, and this thing would normally completely tick you off and trigger you and push you into an emotional frenzy. You have to stop in that moment and take a breath, but not a regular one, because one deep breath is not going to calm you down. It's actually going to make you even more stressed out. What I would like you to do is to take a double inhalation and a very short, quick exhalation. And this is how it goes. What this does is it activates a hormone inside of your body that calms everything down and increases your focus. Whereas if you're taking deep breaths in and out, or a very long inhalations and very long exhalations, what this actually is going to do is it's going to further induce dopamine production, epinephrine production. And that actually pushes you into a focus that is more stress related, not a calm related one. So doing a double breath, double inhalation with a short exhalation a few times in a row immediately calms you down, brings more oxygen to your brain, and that oxygenation helps you recollect your mental faculties again, your rational faculties again. The second thing you want to do is you want to catch the thought as it is happening. That thing is causing me ... You catch that. You ask it a question. Is that really true? Is this thought really a fact? How much information do I have about what is happening here that's making me think what I do that is based on 100% reality? Perhaps you can ask some questions in that moment. Somebody's being rude to you. You ask them, are you trying to be rude? I promise you, this not only brings you back to rational thinking and takes you out of the emotions, it also makes you feel very empowered and boosts your self-esteem. So what you need to do in the moment when stress is being created, when there is a thought process which will eventually engage an emotion, you have to get in between that. Stepping right in the middle of that, taking those double inhalations and calming your system down, then asking questions to yourself or to whatever the situation is, the individual in front of you that's causing your pain. Find facts about the situation. And even if you find yourself falling back into the habit of giving negative thoughts, giving negative meaning to things, try to not push yourself to the positive, but say, I'm going to be neutral about this. I'm going to be neutral about this actually enables you to not relate on a personal level to what is causing you stress, which means here I am, and here is this thing, and it has no relation to me. Watch your stress symptoms disappear when you disassociate with what is happening around you that's causing you stress. Neutralizing enables you to not go from negative to positive, which is an impossibility to do. When you're already aroused, you cannot give a positive label to what's happening in your life experience. Let's say you have an accident. You can't say that's a positive thing, but you can say it's a neutral thing. And by doing so, You allow yourself time and space to digest the information, ask questions about the situation, and reassess while coming up with a neutral response, not an emotionally charged one. There's a really beautiful story about a man living in a town. He lives with his son, and he wins a horse in an auction. Now, he didn't have a horse before. All the neighbors are elated for him. So, oh my gosh, you won a horse. Now farming is going to be a lot easier for you. And everybody's excited. And the man says, we will see. A week later, his son gets on the horse without a training, gallops, falls off the horse, and breaks both his legs. The neighbors come over, everybody's devastated and feeling sorry for him, says, oh my God, how could this possibly happen to your son? This is so awful. And the farmer turns to them and says, we will see. 3 months later, his son is fully recovered from his injuries. His legs are healed, and he is getting back to his high energetic self again. He's running at the speed of light. He's getting really good at it. And neighbors come over and say, oh my God, this is amazing. It's a miracle. Your son is an absolute athlete. Look at the way he can run with 2 previously broken legs. And the man says, we shall see. About a month later, there is a call to action for all youngsters in that town. And the son has to go to war. All the neighbors come by again, and everybody's devastated. Oh, how awful. How could this happen? We feel so bad for you. This is just devastating. And the man says, we shall see. Now, about a half a year later, war ends. The son comes home, and he is stronger than ever before. Everybody comes by, and, well, you know how the story ends. You don't know what an obstacle would truly mean to your life unless you are further along on your journey. Looking back, you can connect the dots. Moving forward is a little bit difficult, but if you manage to neutralize emotions and stop giving such excessive labels to everything that happens in your life experience and not make it personal, you will increase your self-esteem, increase your emotional resilience, and trust you me, increase your life enjoyment. And you will be just a lot more pleasant for people to be around. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you managed to put the information into practice. So remember to get between the thought and the emotion that is connected to a sensory information. Instead of giving it a positive label or a negative label, give it a neutralized label, and watch your stress transform. If you enjoyed this video, please forward it to a friend or a family member that could enjoy it, that could use the information. Support the YouTube channel by subscribing to it and liking the videos. I love to keep providing you with instrumental information in how to live your best lives.